Hi everyone! Welcome back to a new episode of Simple History. If you're new here, I'm Sierra Anderson, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about one specific historical nurse that helped shape the society we know and love today. This historical nurse can be considered incredible for all she has done. She went by the name Clara Harlow Barton, aka the Angel of the Battlefield. So let's get started, shall we? Special shout out to today's special viewers, Mr. Paul Frisch and Miss Allison Tomchick's History of Nursing class from Penn State Scranton. We're going to travel back in time to a period where times were much different than they are today in 2019. Ironically, the bad times back then helped lead to the good advancements in today's society. During the Civil War, there was a high demand for supplies that soldiers needed, but they could not get easily. Clara Barton risked her life to go into the battlefield to deliver these supplies directly to the soldiers. Because of this high demand, Clara Barton knew that something had to be done in order to make these supplies available to any person in time of disaster, even if it wasn't just for soldiers. This is why in 1881, Clara Barton founded the American Red Cross. When Clara Barton founded the American Red Cross, she had already been 59 years old, but she continued to lead this advancement for another 23 years. Clara's understanding of helping people who needed it most in times of pain and distress is what guided her throughout her lifetime. Her personal example that she set by founding the American Red Cross helped to create so many new paths in the field of volunteer work, back then as well as today. So, what is the American Red Cross? Today we know the American Red Cross by their simple slogan, always there in times of need. The American Red Cross exists to provide those with compassionate care who need it most. The American Red Cross, or ARC, is a humanitarian missionary program that provides emergency assistance in times of disaster, disaster relief, and education on how to be prepared for a natural disaster in the United States. Today, the American Red Cross has been providing life-saving care for 130 years straight. But that's not all the Red Cross does. Have you ever donated blood in your school or college's annual blood drives? If so, you are most likely helping and volunteering yourself for the American Red Cross. When you donate blood through one of their blood drives, they take that blood, and your gift can save up to 3 people's lives if they're ill, hurt, or involved in a natural disaster. Also, many nursing students were required to take a BLS, or Basic Life Support class, in order to practice in a clinical setting. The Red Cross holds this class to teach you how to save a life in the time of disaster. Their classes consist of CPR, first aid, and AED training. These classes that they hold help you to be ready and prepared for an unexpected disaster, because you too can help save lives. Outside of their work from the life-saving blood drives and their training and certification programs, they also help in disaster relief, they provide international services, and they work hand in hand with our military families. Every 8 minutes, the American Red Cross responds to a disaster. Whether it be a small house fire or a multi-state natural disaster, the American Red Cross works hard to be wherever they are needed, whenever they are needed. By responding to these emergencies, they help to provide clean water, safe shelter, and hot meals when these items are needed most. Every year, the Red Cross responds to an average of 62,000 disasters. 90% of their disasters are home fires, and 95% of their disaster relief workers are volunteers, which means they're not getting paid for the work that they're doing. Although most of their response is to home fires, they also respond to national disasters by giving hurricane relief, wildlife relief, and flood relief. Each of their relief programs is important, as well as funded by their volunteers and their donations from the surrounding public. Let's go a little more in depth with the services that the Red Cross offers to those in need after a natural disaster, such as a wildfire, a flood, or a hurricane. The picture shown above is an emergency response vehicle, or ERV. Its job is to circulate throughout the affected community after a natural disaster to hand out food, relief supplies, information, or to just comfort those who were in need. The American Red Cross also offers health services. The Red Cross health volunteers travel to disaster sites to help people cope. The health workers can also provide first aid treatment for injuries, monitor the well-being of people who are staying in the Red Cross shelters, or they can replace their medications or even their eyeglasses if damaged. After any disaster, the American Red Cross works with its community partners to provide hot meals, snacks, and water in any of the affected neighborhoods by the natural disasters. The American Red Cross also distributes emergency supplies. Their emergency supply kits contain basic personal items such as toothbrushes, deodorants, shampoos, and then in other kits, emergency supplies could include tarps, rakes, shovels, and trash bags, or basically anything people need to clean up their homes and return to their normal daily lives. In some cases, after a natural disaster has occurred, families have to stay in overnight shelters. The Red Cross has opened shelters all over to make sure people have a safe place to stay and a hot meal, plus access to other support from trained volunteers if needed. Finally, the Red Cross has a reunification program. Safe and Well is a free public reunification tool that allows individuals to register on their site and post messages to indicate whether they are safe or to search for their loved ones. Above is a picture of two women that were separated by a natural disaster who the Red Cross helped to find each other. Now let us take a look together at the 2018 annual report given by the Red Cross. This report will show all the people that the Red Cross have helped throughout the 2018 year. The 2019 report will be released sometime in 2020 to give you an average of how many people have been hurt by natural disasters and how many the Red Cross have helped throughout the year. Shown above is the 2018 annual report from the American Red Cross. 90% of the volunteers helped out by giving 8.2 million meals and snacks, 290,000 overnight shelter stays, 2.2 million relief items, and 188,000 health and mental health contacts were made. By joining today to volunteer, you can help too in their fight to save more. If Clara Barton knew today how strong her American Red Cross has grown, I'm sure she would be proud. Every day, volunteers are working hard to change lives as well as save them. Her contribution to society is more than any normal person can achieve in several lifetimes. She is, just as every historian has ever said, a true American hero. To learn more about Clara Barton and the American Red Cross, you can visit the American Red Cross website. If you're looking to become a volunteer or to donate to the foundation, you could sign up today through the American Red Cross. I hope this video helped you to learn more about the Angel of the Battlefields and her biggest accomplishment of founding the Red Cross way back in 1881. Tune in next week for more simple history. I'm Sierra Anderson, now signing off.